We are live. Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Dadgummit. Today is Sunday, January the 26th, 2025. We are about 23 hours removed from one of the bigger junior days I've seen in my career. You'll see in your lifetime as Auburn hosted approximately 40 of the top recruits in the 2026 class. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about maybe some more coaching additions and kids reporting to campus. Got some new guys on campus this past week. And we're going to do it all. We're going to get to some questions from the corner. Questions from the call-in line. We're going to take your calls, 701-779-9585. We want to get to the phones, answer some questions, respond to your comments. Here to do it with me always, they do. That makes complete sense. I went to 7 years of school to learn how to speak that way. Mr. Cole Pinkston, Sir Alan Head, how about you, fellas?
How about you?
How about you, big dog?
Man, I tell you, my brain is a little foggy. Cole knows as well as I do for the past, 40 hours. It's been nonstop at Auburn, which is a good thing if you're an Auburn fan.
Sure.
We've seen 5-star offensive tackle Emmanuel Manny Iheanacho visit Auburn for the second time. We saw 5-star edge Zion Ely, the number 1 overall recruit in the country, according to On 3, visit Auburn. We saw Trenton Keys.
Okay.
Tristan Keys, 5-star wide receiver, number 1 player in Mississippi. We saw Jermaine Kinsler, the number 1 player in New Jersey. We've seen so many top recruits. Cedarian Morgan,
yes,
who will be a 5-star. I tell you what, go look at the Auburn Live on 3 visit page. I updated it with everybody that was there and everybody that wasn't. And I want us to, if somebody remind me, either the listener, a watcher, or one of you guys, let's remember to go back, let's say December. Let's go back and look at what these rankings are, because I guarantee you there's going to be a couple more 5-star. I think Cedarian Morgan's a 5-star.
Sure.
Braylon Womack's on the verge.
Trenton Henderson, I think, is on the verge.
We're going to look back at this and go, wow.
There's going to be more 4-stars, too. Probably.
Yes.
I would expect Parker Pritchett to probably be closer.
Parker Pritchett, absolutely. Auburn certainly thinks so, don't they, Cole?
Absolutely. And I saw him at the Under Armour camp a year ago. He had to be 330 plus, and I we talked to him. I asked him, I was like, dude, you have trimmed. He said 305. I'm like, wow.
Oh, Derek Cooper, forgot about him.
Derek Cooper from Charlotte. Yeah.
Tyra Edwards.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if Auburn is ever going to be in contention for a number 1 class, this year might be the year, given who you're already in with, Jeffrey. I mean, I think you know it better than anyone. To be in contention, you have to land somewhere upwards of 3 5-stars in your class to land a number 1 class. And Auburn, by all accounts, had 3 5-stars right now, and there's only 16 that are presently ranked as 5-stars. I don't know. That's just shy of a fourth of all 5-stars presently in the industry.
Basically, 1 out of every 4 5-stars in the country was in Auburn yesterday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
And like you said, there could certainly be more in that group when they get up to their 32, which is what they do to essentially their first-round draft, right? That's what they call their 5-stars. That's just it blows my mind, and I'm with you. That was Big Cat worthy. Like, you remember that first Big Cat and how star-studded it was with guys like Lake C. Strunk and
Michael Dyer, Marcus Lattimore, Trevon Reed.
Yes, all of those guys. That's what this felt like.
Greg Robinson.
I think Greg was at the second edition.
He was there the first one, but he wasn't who he became. I mean, he was there with Trevon, but nobody really knew him other than that's Trevon's teammate who's going to be really good next year.
Got you. Okay, I did not know that. See, that's what you get for actually reporting as opposed to being the person who was reading the report. There you go.
Let's see. Zach, do we have anybody on call, on hold, on the phones, on the line?
We have 2 callers.
Okay. Well, let me before we get to them, and I hope one of them's Kevin, because he got us going last week. Matter of fact, he got us going the past 2 weeks. Really good. Just a general overview of what's going on with the Auburn program. But before we do, listen, if you're in Auburn or Opelika, if you're in Lee County, looking to sell your home, looking to buy a home, maybe look for an investment property to put on that resume, look no further for the help you need. Give her a call. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. A lot of fours in that number, Alan Head, but she's a freaking 5-star realtor. She truly is, man. She got clients making her 5-star on the back. She's got a jersey. 5-star realtor. She truly is. Don't believe me? Just ask me, and I will tell you. She's a 5-star realtor. Give her a call, man. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. All right. Hey, look, I'll tell you what. Before we get to presumably Kevin, Alan, from an outsider,
Sure.
what was your takeaway from what you saw yesterday, what you saw today, some of the coverage and some of the things that you read, some things that you've heard? How successful do you think that day was?
I think it was very successful. I think people are going to walk away from this and you're not going to see an immediate commitment. And certain people are going to think, okay, that wasn't an overly successful weekend. And I would wholeheartedly disagree with you on that one. Disagree with you on that one. They laid groundwork, a lot of groundwork moving towards commitment season. And a lot of this is you want to get some of these kids in here and see if you mesh with them from a character standpoint, what their measurables are, because some of this is unconfirmed, right? You're working off of whatever data you have, but you have an opportunity to eyeball these kids, get a feel for who they are as people, who they have in their family around them, who's helping them make the decision. And a lot of that was accomplished yesterday in a lot of relationships. I mean, I think you see some of the comments that certain prospects made. And when you see, big 5-star Zion coming out of, Baltimore, St. Francis, and then you find out that Charles Dorsey's being hired, who has connections to that area, it just makes you realize this game is chess, not checkers, and Auburn's playing it at a high level right now, right?
Wayne Dorsey.
Wayne.
That's who I was thinking of when he introduced himself to me.
Was Charles?
Yes. I was like, dude, you were a badass D lineman back in the day. Well, he was.
Yes.
But for Ole Miss.
Not for Auburn. Right.
Who was Charles? Yeah, right. There you go. But yes. So go ahead. I'm sorry, Al.
No, but I just think there was so much that was accomplished. And when I asked around about it, I think you could see it pay immediate dividends, specifically in the cornerback world. I think Wes is in a good spot with, is it Broadnax? How do you say his last name?
It's Broadnax. He told me in person.
Broadnax. Okay. I think you did really well there. I think that they are going to be in contention for some really good safeties in this class. I was very impressed. I think it is it Womack? Is that how you say the last name?
Braylon.
Yeah. Braylon Womack.
They have a real shot there, from what I understand. I think they have a really good shot, and he's the number 2 ranked safety in the class right now. And if you were able to put him with maybe like a Jaira Edwards in this class, coming off of what you just signed, I don't know that you can get a more elite back end as far as a field and safety boundary are concerned in 2 classes back to back. But I think you stand in great spots with both those guys. And just, again, don't look at it as an immediate commitment. If you didn't get an immediate commitment out of this, it was a failure. This was a long play. And this was a situation where they built and networked at an extremely high level. They got kids in an Auburn basketball game where they were able to see the Auburn community in a way that they can only imagine what it would be like if they're performing at that level in Jordan-Hare Stadium, right? So just a lot of positives.
Speaking of Broadnax, he's by the way, he's a 4-star safety from Boca Raton, Florida. You talked about Wayne Dorsey, the new edge assistant. So he's going to be Rock Bellantoni's assistant. You've got 3 new additions this year. Wayne Dorsey at edge. Running back assistant is going to be Michael Spurlock, who played for Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss, and also and so did Wayne Dorsey, played for Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss, and then Antoine Richardson, who played. He's going to be your cornerback assistant. He's helping Crime Dog. He played at Maryland under Durkin. Well, speaking of Broadnax, Antoine Richardson is from the same hometown as Broadnax, coached against him, very close family ties there. A lot of familiarity with Broadnax. Broadnax is going to be announcing the decision in the next couple of weeks. I think it's Auburn, Florida.
Yes.
So definitely keep an eye out on Broadnax. We talked about Wayne Dorsey. He's got, not only was he at Ole Miss under Freeze, he was at St. Francis coaching the defensive line 2 years ago. St. Francis Academy, home to Blake Woodby, Bryce Diaz, Darion Smith, Darrell Robinson, and now Zion Ely, the number 1 player in the country, Jaira Edwards, the number 2 or 3 safety in the country, and Wayne Henry, the safety commit for Auburn, who they spent all weekend in Auburn. So a lot of good additions there with recruiting ties across some of Auburn's, what's becoming Auburn's stomping grounds in recruiting.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I have no reason to doubt that they can get anybody they want from St. Francis. I don't. They have given no reason for doubt there. I think they can get anybody. I think they can get Zion Ely. I really believe that after this weekend. I'll tell you what, man.
And Jaira Edwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. From a recruiting insider reporter standpoint, Jeffrey, just being around it now, this is technically year 3 recruiting cycle for Freeze. I mean, I guess
third full year.
Full recruiting cycle, yeah.
2.5, you could almost call it, I guess. But boy, we've said it so many times. They just get it, dude. I mean, they is the level of understanding they have for recruiting at Auburn is a 10 out of 10. I would not give them any less on a 10 out of 10 scale, right? Would y'all please put together some wins? I know we say that a lot. I'm telling you, it would be such a shame, to see all of this not work out, because they are going to have the players. I mean, they're going to have them. This class here, I'll go ahead and say it. It's going to be good.
Yes.
It's going to be top 10.
Oh, yeah. I think this year's the success, whether it's top 5 or top 10 in the 2026 class, I think this year wins are most important than any 2 seasons we've seen under Hugh Freeze. We talked about it a little bit last week. Alan brought up a great point about Missouri. Their 3 years of fumbling and bumbling under Eli Drinkwitz, only to win 10 one year, the 4th year, and 11 the next year. However, if you don't win this year, and I mean at least 6.
Yeah.
At least 6. I think this class would fall. I don't think now you win your 4th year, you're back up in recruiting. But I think this 2026 class is more dependent on wins, on a successful season, than any class so far.
Hands down. I could not agree with you more, Jeffrey, because you've been selling hope to this point. You've been selling early playing time. But at some point, you have to sell production, and you have to sell, hey, this is what we're accomplishing. And so I think wins coincide with some of that. Some of that's going to be accomplished in, like, hey, if you develop a quarterback and say, they go out there and throw for 3,000 yards this year, okay, you can sell that, right? It may not necessarily manifest itself in wins, but if you've got 7 wins to go along with a 3,000-yard passer, that absolutely helps you in recruiting with both receiver and quarterbacks. But there has to be some level of win total there. It needs to be a winning season. It needs to be a step in the right direction. Now, if they shoot the moon and they're looking at, like, and I'm not, for the Auburn fans out there that are going to say, hey, you said this, I'm spitballing here, okay? If they were to win 9, 10, this is the kind of, they are laying the kind of groundwork where you can get the number 1 class.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. With who you had on campus yesterday and some of the things that I heard coming out of that as far as the relationship building is concerned, so long as money doesn't become an overwhelming factor for certain kids, and let's not pretend that doesn't happen at times, then I think Auburn is in a fantastic place from a foundational standpoint in this class.
Well, I'll tell you what really sold me. All right. The recruiting, obviously, we talk about this all the time, and it is, and junior day was great. All of this is great. We know that's almost like that's going to happen at this point. It's a given, right? What sold me was this portal cycle where you kept the guys you really wanted to keep.
Yes.
That's where you sold me, and where I go, all right, now look, if you keep this up, it's not just, hey, they're going to be better in 25. They're going to be consistently good.
Yes.
I really think that the way that they're doing things right now, it could be really, really good for a long time. it's crazy to me that I am very skeptical of them winning because I haven't seen them do it yet. All right.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I can understand why the recruits are buying in from what you witness when you're there and you're seeing this and you're seeing it take place. You can see how these guys can put together some wins. You can believe it. So it doesn't shock me at all that they're able to recruit this well, even when they're not winning like they should be. I can see it. Now that runs out. It does. There's a time limit on that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're approaching it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's not shocking.
We got to get to the college, but guys, talk about how the staff kind of complements itself in recruiting. I mean, you've got obviously Hugh Freeze gets a lot of the credit, right? And I'm on record as saying that Hugh could sell a Bible to a Southern preacher. That's just, that's who he is.
Catch up.
But there you go. But talk about the staff and the way they kind of complement Hugh. When you have new additions like Rock Bellantoni and his personality, and Wes McGriff and DJ and Nix and Marcus Davis, all of these guys that work together. It is because it's a collaboration. It is not just one solo person working. But talk about some of those things you witnessed from a coaching staff standpoint.
I'll start on the defensive side. DJ Durkin, defensive coordinator, linebackers coach. He is all about ball. However, he's actually really personable once you get around him. But then you've got guys like Crime, and Vontrell King Williams and Rock, who are just peoples, whatever you want to call them. People person. Anyways,
very personable.
But at the same time, they're they take them in. They're talking ball. They're building relationships with not only the kid but the parents and the coach and whoever else they need. It's fun to watch them collab on guys. And to hear the guys like Broadnax, like Braylon Womack, and talking about not only their position coach, but the head coach and the defensive coordinator. And, pretty much gone is the area recruiter.
Yes.
It really is. It is. And I'm okay with that to a certain extent. I can see the other side of that argument. But I do like kids building relationships with who they're going to be playing under, presumably. But the personalities of this staff, and then you go on the offense, and you've got Ben Angamoa, you've got Jake Thorne, Marcus Davis, Derek Nix, and then you've got the X and O guy, Ken Austin, but also you've got the younger Jesse Stone, he was fabulous. Logan Bradley at tight end assistant, Peyton Cox, the offensive line assistant. They're all. I don't know that I'm going to go on record. I don't think and listen, I've met some very personable staffs. Gene Chiswick's was fantastic.
Yes.
And back then you had an offensive GA and a defensive GA, and that's it. You didn't know anybody else. All right. Now everybody's got an assistant. But overall, this might be the most personable, genuine, kind, knowledgeable overall staff that I've ever covered at Auburn. Like Cole, they get it.
Well, I think we've talked to several staffers, Jeffrey, who they've told us that Freeze is pretty adamant, and he stays on them in a nice way, I guess you would say. But it's a push. Hey, everybody in the building recruits. When they're here, you are a recruiter. I don't care what your role is. You turn into recruiter, and it's just it's an all hands on deck kind of thing, and you can tell that it's an emphasis. But they also enjoy it. It's not like a job, right? They seem to thoroughly enjoy these days, these big junior days, these big cat weekends. They get excited to know, hey, that list I put together, they are here. We have got one of the most impressive visit days in the country. Yeah. Nobody can touch this. And if you're here, you were invite only, and they feel important when they're there. And I'm telling you, the day, it's a lot of people have asked us, was this a day where moves were made? Was this a day where, it's just like laying the groundwork? I think moves were made.
Yes.
I don't think this was just a groundwork day. And some people may look at it that way. But to me, it was, dude, I really believe there were some moves made with some big time guys.
Agreed. And to kind of close it up, to understand the moment of that basketball game and what you had on campus and giving that the oxygen to help you get kids on campus, because don't believe that wasn't a sell job. Like, hey, come watch the number 1 team in the country versus the number 6. This is what you're going to be doing. If that wasn't enticing to certain kids, it absolutely was. By comparison, and this is not, it feels like I'm kicking a dead dog at this point. I'm not trying to, but you think 2.5 years ago when you had Kentucky come to town and game day was there. And I think the story goes, Jeffrey, as you told it, one bus of 13 kids rolled out, and that was about all you had that day.
That was
oh wow, sure was.
That was the topic of discussion this junior day again, just because you just can't believe where it's come from. I mean, really.
Sure.
We got one interview in the parking lot that day. Like, I mean, this is crazy. It's crazy where it's gone to.
Sure. But to understand what you have around you, utilize basketball as a tool, and to just understand the moment, understand what's at stake and how to recruit, how to build, how to use the resources you have available to you. Compliments to the staff on recruiting. Yeah, you can say whatever you want about anything else, but as it pertains to recruiting, this staff is elite.
Yeah,
they scheduled that junior day around that basketball game.
They did.
Fantastic.
They did, and it was no coincidence that they introduced the newcomers. Right.
All right, Zach, get us to Kevin. Get us going, big dog.
Kevin, you're live, man.
Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama.
How about you, Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama?
How you doing, Jeffrey Lee?
I'm doing great, Kevin from Wilmer. How are you doing?
Fine. My mom's doing good.
She getting better?
Yeah, she's getting better every day.
Good.
Awesome.
What'd you think about that basketball game last night, Kevin?
I loved it.
Did you?
Yeah, my favorite player is Janai Broom.
Is he?
For good reason, Kevin. For good reason.
If we did not have him last night, we could have lost.
Oh, for sure. Definitely could have.
Yeah,
he might have. Probably would have.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question on that, Kev.
What's the status on all the recruiting news?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Kevin. Cole, let me ask you this. Give me 3 guys after yesterday that you think Auburn made or you're feeling better or pretty good about Auburn's chances with.
Vodney Cleveland.
Okay.
Yep.
I might go with Jair Edwards.
Yep, he's on my list.
Man, Trenton Henderson probably.
Oh, very good one, Cole. He's on my list.
Those 3 come to mind. Yeah, Cedarian Morgan. I wouldn't.
Sure,
you could say him.
Hey, watch out for Xavier Tiller.
Okay.
That's
okay. And that's a big need, and that would be a big win for Ben.
Texas A&M commit out of Langston Hughes in Fairburn, Georgia. You got Kenyatta Watson. You got Ben. You got Logan Bradley. All these cats working on him. You've got Derek Nix working on him. Hugh Freeze working on him. He's committed to A&M. But keep an eye on Auburn.
Oh, what about Tristan Keys?
Sure.
I was kind of surprised at how excited he was in the interview. Like he was all about that.
Where's he from?
He's from Mississippi. He's the number 1 player in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
5-star receiver, Kevin, big time guy. He's buddies with Devin Carter too. Hung out the whole day, so that's interesting.
We need him.
For sure. He is probably, man, I tell you, Cedarian Morgan, I'm trying to call somebody the Cam Coleman of this class, and I almost want to say Cedarian Morgan because I love Cedarian Morgan. I think he is a stud. I think Tristan Keys.
Well, if you're looking for
Cam and Cedarian, I'm looking for a comparison. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're looking for a recruitment comparison, I would say Cedarian Morgan is your Cam Coleman. But if you watch Tristan Keys, there are some similarities to Cam Coleman's skill set going on there.
A lot of those.
He'll have a good season next season.
He
was
should.
at the basketball game, Kevin. Saw him. And
he loves it, man. Oh,
Gentry.
DG was in there, big dog. How's Wanda doing, Kevin?
She's doing good. She's staying with my mom right now.
Oh, good for her. You got you a good woman, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you, big dog. All
And,
right, Kevin. Well,
I think our defense will do good too.
football or basketball?
Football.
I do too. I love DJ Durkin coming back. I love it.
That's big.
Love
That's
it.
a big deal.
Love that guy. Love that guy.
I'll
Love
talk
his.
to y'all later.
Kevin, War Eagle, buddy. Appreciate you calling in, Kevin. Love DJ Durkin. I have more confidence in that guy running a unit than I've had in a long time. I think the defense is you get the talent coming in, young talent. You got some good transfers coming in. Going to add adds a couple more in the spring portal window. But very much looking forward to seeing that defense. Good job, good stuff, Kevin. Appreciate you, buddy. Zach.
We got 3 more callers, but I wanted to ask you and Cole a quick question.
Okay.
You brought up the Mississippi prospects and Auburn making progress there. Have these last 2 classes been the most talented classes in Mississippi that you guys can remember? Because I grew up paying attention to recruiting, and I want to say there's 10 top 200 prospects this year in the state of Mississippi.
That's pretty strong. There was one class though that had, just from a recruiting standpoint, however those guys panned out is, what was the
there are 10 top 200.
Derek Hall, Charles Moore.
Yes.
Remember that whole
sure. Auburn signed 3 of them. I'm trying to think of the other kid's name. He lasted about 10 minutes. Well, he went to Miss State and ended up panning out there. I'm trying to think. It was Stone Handy was the other one.
Yeah.
He lasted about 5 minutes under Rodney.
That wasn't Cam Akers, was it? Or was that before that?
Cam was before that because he ended up going to Florida State, right? That was the one that Ole Miss thought they were going to get.
N'Kobe Dean, remember him?
Yes.
Stud. Jerrion Ely. Charles Cross. Remember Charles Cross?
Charles Cross,
yes. Yes, absolutely.
Wanted to commit to Auburn in the spring, and JB Grimes or was it JB?
It was JB, had no interest. Or no, was it Herb? Was it Herb at that time?
I believe it was Herb. I believe you're right.
Yeah, it was Herb
then. He was kind of undersized, Charles Cross, and he gets to Mississippi State.
Zach, let me share this real quick. Let me show you Zach, speaking of what you're talking, 2019 class. Look at this.
Yeah, JB snubbed the one that went to Alabama. I'm trying to think of his name that was an Auburn.
Look at these studs: Charles Cross, Jerrion Ely, N'Kobe Dean, Charles Moore, Nathan Pickering, Byron Young, Jaron Handy, Brandon Turnage, Derek Hall. I mean, when Derek Hall's the 9th best player in the state, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
That was a stud. Jerrion Jones, KJ Jefferson.
He was John Rice Plumlee.
Yeah.
No, that was a big year. I will be honest, Mississippi to me is one of those states that always turns out prospects. There's not a lot of money in that state in high school football, I'll be honest. So you get a lot of raw gems and underdeveloped kids. So you got to know where you're going. But you can get some really good athletes out of that state. You really can.
You can find a lot of under the radar guys out in there.
You can.
Pull up this year's Mississippi class, Jeffrey?
Oh, yeah.
Curious who all they've got. I mean, we know they got, let's see. One guy that was supposed to be there was Tylen Wilson. He's from Mississippi, I think. He didn't show up.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Safety, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the top 2 were in Auburn.
Tristan Keys, Braylon Womack. Xavier McDonald's a big target. Let's see.
Demarius Yates, Nolan Wilson.
He's a former teammate of Jamonte Waller.
Yeah.
I know they
There's
had Preston Ashley.
Cool. It's still early, so Jace Matthews at 14. He was in Auburn. Yeah, he was in Auburn.
Yeah, he was.
So it's still early. I mean, we're still familiarizing ourselves with the state of Alabama, much less the state of Mississippi. But I'd be curious to look back on this class and see. But anytime you get the two top dogs from the neighboring state to come over.
And I think you got a shot with both. I mean, I know, Cole, you mentioned it, making a move with Keys. I mean, from what I heard, I think they made a move with Womack. I really do. Mm-hmm. And I think his sister being there on campus with the softball team helps. It helps with the parents more than it helps with him, I think.
It certainly does not hurt.
No.
Yeah.
3143. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
How about you, fellas? This is Jack from Birmingham. It's my first time calling in. Y'all doing all right?
Yeah,
All right.
how about you, Jack? Welcome in, big dog. Welcome to the party, pal.
Thank y'all. I want to talk some hoops. I'll keep it as short as I can. I've kind of got a question and then an opinion. I'll give those real quick and then hop off the line. But my first question, man, Kevin said it. Without Janai Broome, last night we don't win that game. But it was pretty apparent he won 100%.
No.
And I know Bruce is kind of leaving it up to him as far as how much he's going to play, when he's going to play. I'm kind of wondering if the staff might need to step in and kind of limit his minutes, because I'm nervous that we might be risking a re-injury and we might be jeopardizing our chances in the postseason because of that. So just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that. And then my statement or opinion, y'all don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but I kind of got to get it off my chest.
Shoot.
I don't feel like I'm in the minority on this, but I'm kind of fed up with this coconut bra guy. And we're having the best season in, program history. And we've got kind of a weird shirtless guy as the representative of the student body. Feel like he's kind of overstaying his welcome with this bit, and I don't think it's really funny anymore. But it's a free country; he can do whatever he wants. But I don't really like it. Had to just get that off my chest. But man, I love y'all's show. War Dam as always, and Tigers to the moon.
All right, big dog. Jack, you would, if you're not a member of Auburn Live on 3, you'd be a fantastic fit for Auburn Live on 3.
Absolutely.
We had threads about
Coconut bra.
We had threads about him, and you're not in the minority, I don't think. I think he has worn out his welcome.
Janai Broome, should Auburn limit his minutes? And listen, this is what I always do. Bruce Pearl knows more about this situation than I do.
Of course.
Listen, I'm going with whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. Well, he knows more than me for sure, because I was watching the first 10 minutes of the game going, I really feel like the flow is messed up here with Broome in the game, because he didn't look right at first. Now second half he looked like a different person, in my opinion. I don't know if y'all saw the same thing I did. It felt like the rhythm was way off because of it, though, and I don't. That's just my gut feeling.
And you know what they say? The rhythm is going to get you.
Oh. Yes, they do. What is that, Gloria Estefan?
Gloria Estefan will tell you that.
Look at you. I'm with you on that, Cole. I do think the rhythm, and some of it had to do with he hasn't played in 2 weeks. They've changed the offense some, with him not necessarily being there, not necessarily being the focal point of everything that they're trying to accomplish. You could tell he was a little bit slow and that the ankle was a little bit tight to begin with, but as it loosened up, he started to play more naturally. Now, he wasn't 100%, and you could see that particularly in some of his rebounding and effort and hustle plays. Like, he just didn't have the same level of energy or the same burst that he's had in the past. But Janai's game has never been one that is overwhelming athleticism, right? Like, he's a sneaky athlete.
Right.
But he's somebody that's more technically sound and can use his body in the low post. And depending on how he responds, now we'll see how sore he is today. I haven't heard anything, nor have I asked around, and I don't really even think it's that important, because you're right. Bruce has a feel on this, and he's not going to in any way endanger the rest of the season or postseason play. But it is an ankle sprain, guys. It's not a situation that's necessarily going to get worse if they're continuing treatment. I think it was a low ankle sprain, not a high. He wouldn't have been able to come back if it was a high ankle sprain. Not that quickly, not without like a tightrope surgery or something of that nature, and none of that was done. So it really is just him kind of playing through it and getting used to it. And eventually, if they continue to treat it and they have the right kind of brace on it, they're taping and everything else, he's going to be okay. You just got to play through it a little bit until it loosens up, because anybody that's ever sprained an ankle, it gets tight, man. It gets super tight, and you got to work through that. There's some flexibility you got to put back into it. Exactly.
When did people stop wearing high top shoes playing basketball?
Bro, don't get me started.
It makes my stomach hurt to watch people play without braces on. Like, I've turned my ankle just watching you do that. Like, I can't stand it. My ankle was
Don't tell me you didn't have the Reebok pumps.
Dude, I actually did when I was in 3rd grade. I absolutely had the pump. And I hit the little ball. I would hit the little ball before I went out there.
I had to give them 3 pumps before every free throw.
No doubt, dude. And then I had some J's on my feet after that, so I was good there.
Oh, you big time. All right, good stuff, Jack. Appreciate you calling in, big dog. Go check out the corner. People are on your side with the bra man, and you are absolutely not in the minority.
For the record, I don't have a problem with the guy.
I don't give a crap.
I don't either, but there seem to be people that do.
Well,
obviously.
I get it because it's a bit, right? And he's committed to the bit. So for that, I give him credit. But I do wish that ESPN would do a better job of not cutting to him every 5 seconds. I put that more on them and less on him, right? Like he's not the one pointing the camera.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't care.
The big thing seemed to be that he was in there and with past all the line. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if a woman was doing that,
bro, I wouldn't get any kind of argument if
I think everybody would be in support. I think this is a sexist remark, misogyny.
Look at you. Executive order. Declare it, Jeffrey. I like it.
So he's coconut bro. I want to see coconut bra. You know.
There you go.
All right, Zach, get me out of this.
8021. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
This is Train from Birmingham.
Train. How about you, big dog?
Man, I'm good, man. I just called to say, man, I agree with y'all with the recruiting, with the recruiting. I think Auburn got Hugh Freeman. He's one of the best recruiters in the world, man. I believe that. I really believe that. But I got a couple of issues with the coaching philosophy, offense, and the defense, man. Okay. I like Durkin a lot, but Durkin, I think Durkin got 2 things that I really don't like. And man, I don't know if y'all agree with me on this or not. We played last year. I think we was in every game last year. Mm-hmm. Every game except that Georgia game. But we was in that Georgia game. We could have been down in that Georgia game 10-7 at the half, if y'all remember. It was 10. I think it was 10-7. We had got the ball inside the 5-yard line. I think instead of us running the timeout and just going to halftime 10-7, I think Hugh Freeze called 3 straight passes. And we had 3 straight incompletions, and we punted the ball. And Georgia scored it was like a minute or something left. And they scored 17-7 and the game just got away from us. Yeah. It's stuff like that who freeing them just the coaching philosophy they be doing, it just don't make no sense. And you got Payne Thorne as your quarterback. Man, just go in the halftime 10-7 and try to regroup.
I think they did the same thing against Alabama.
Coaching then, that's coaching right there. And then all that, like we was in some of them games, we get inside the red zone. He ain't want to run. He ain't want to run. Jarquiz Hunt want to do trick plays inside the 5. Instead of just going man on man and just run Jarquiz up the middle and get a touchdown. Getting that doing crazy stuff like that. We just losing games like that. And then with Durkin in that defense, like the first 2 games we lost, man. I went to the Cal game, and I was disgusted down there watching that 3-man front rushing the pass on 3rd down. Every 3rd down, he called him a 3-man front.
3rd and long was frustrating.
Scramble out to the outside and get the 1st down because he had a 3-down lineman inside the tackles, and they can't contain the end. And every time that quarterback Mendoza would run around the end, making the play the whole game. I think he might make some just in the second half or the 4th quarter or something. But the whole time on 3rd down, they made every 3rd down.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? He made every 3rd down. And he did the whole season like that, rushing that 3-man front. And for y'all know, you gotta run 3 men. You gotta have 3 dogs to run 3-man fronts on defense. You gotta have 3 dogs. Then you gotta have containment on the outside. And then I understand that. And the other thing I got wrong with Durkin defense, like he be calling 0 blitzes or something like that. Where he didn't have no safety help over the top. And we kept getting beat over the top with that man-to-man defense with no safety help. I mean, at least you got some NFL corners. I can see you doing man-to-man 0 blitzes, but at least have 1 safety back and try to hit the man over the top. That Oklahoma game beat us like that. That one play, Kane Lee got beat when nobody went over the top to help him. We lost one. I mean, I just don't. I don't like no safety help. I really don't. That's just me. I at least want one safety back. If you're gonna run cover 2 or cover 3, but I love cover 2. You got 2 safety back. So you instead of one safety back, you got to cover the whole field. But I just wish they're gonna change that no safety back there and change that 3-man front on 3rd down or whatever. Do something with that. And that's all I really got to say for y'all, fellas. And I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all so, man. I swear I do. Y'all got the best show. And I listen to a lot of these podcasts, whatever. Y'all got the best one.
Appreciate you, L Train.
Means a lot, L Train. Appreciate you, big dog. I actually did some digging on. I was curious about the 3-man because that drove me crazy. 3rd and long was Auburn's defense Achilles heel all season long. I mean, 3rd and 14. I'm not talking about 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. I'm talking about 3rd and 12.
Yeah,
right.
You get a stop, you tackle for loss, and 3rd and 14, and they gain 20.
Right.
I think from what I gathered, a lot of this. Now, don't get me wrong, scheme is important. It was talent,
personnel. Yes,
personnel.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is. I mean, I know where
or the lack thereof.
I know L Train got specific with a lot of things, but I kind of understand his overall point.
Absolutely.
Here, and I have a reference to make to it that I don't know if everybody's going to understand. It's when it comes back to Hugh Freeze here. Have you ever seen the Hot to Crazy Matrix?
Yes.
I knew Alan. I knew it.
Oh, for sure.
Does Hugh Freeze's hotness outweigh his crazy? Right. What L Train just described was the crazy. We know about this.
Right.
That's the crazy, okay, if you're following me here on a matrix. Does the recruiting, the hotness in this case, outweigh the crazy? That's what everybody's trying to figure out. That's where everybody's at.
Hotness never outweighs the crazy.
I disagree, or at least I've made that decision a couple times in my life anyway, right?
Yeah, I have to. Hey, you live and learn.
Yeah,
I'm telling you from experience.
Yeah.
But, how long can people deal with that is what I guess is really what L Train's point is, in my opinion. That's what he's trying to say. Like, how long do we have to deal with that? How long can you put up with that until it actually turns into something? And it's fair.
Sure.
I am not disagreeing with him at all. I think he was right on a lot of things. And it's fair to question it because of the way it's gone down.
So here's
we're trying to make in the beginning, or at least I was trying to make in the beginning, is you just don't know how good this could be. It could be terrible, but I'm just saying. I don't care what you do. Well, you do whatever you need to do with it. From being an insider, I'm telling you, it looks like it's heading in the right direction. We just got to see how fast they can get it done, right?
Allen has made the and it's not like it's a hot take or anything. Allen has made the comment more than once. You've got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback, rushing 3, rushing 4. Auburn didn't have that.
No.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to waste? You want to rush 4 and waste the defender and not get that, or do you want to put in somebody else that's going to give you more depth, or more somebody in the secondary to clog it up even more? That was his thinking.
I agree, because in his heart, DJ's an aggressive guy, and he wants to absolutely get after the quarterback. And if you look stylistically at where he's been in the past, that's not something that's necessarily been a trait of his or in his bag to exclusively stick in a 3-man front the way we did at times. Jeffrey, you nailed it when I said when you played to your personnel, I think they did. Now, I'm not going to say that every call was fantastic. It wasn't. Nobody calls a perfect game, and DJ got popped a couple different times. I think some of that was execution where linebackers didn't necessarily – it felt like to me, when you went back and looked at the tape, it was a linebacker cut somebody loose 90% of the time, and you got a conversion on 3rd and long, or they got it in a situation where it's 4th and short. And so you got to be smarter there. But when you talk about the zero blitz, why do you do that? Because you're in a crucial down and distance and you're gambling to get that negative play, right? That's why you're doing that. It's not because you trust your personnel up front to play with 4. And I understand L Train's aggravation, brother. I hear you wholeheartedly, like full stop. I get it. because that was a crucial play in the Oklahoma game to give up that deep pass down the sideline there, where you had Kay and Liam one-on-one. And Kay, for whatever reason, I think he cut him loose for a little bit, Cole, and had to recover, if I remember correctly on that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't what ultimately cost you the game. It was game management in that one. And what I will say to DJ's credit, in the two games that you mentioned, L-Train, both Oklahoma and Cal, you still held Cal to 21 points and you turned the ball over 5 times. Yeah. If my defense holds somebody to 21 points and we turn the ball over 5 times, they've done enough. Now, was it beautiful? No. And did you have a right to be aggravated? Absolutely. But the defense was not the reason we lost that game. And in the Oklahoma game, I think they gave up 17 points in that game, and then the pick 6 is what broke you back there.
24, yeah. That was your last score.
Right. So, again, he held Oklahoma to 17 points. You did enough.
And let's don't forget, in that second half of the season, you started facing more dual threat guys. You saw the emergence of DeMarcus Riddick. Yes. You saw so now you're using one guy as a spy. DeMarcus Riddick was that spy, was fantastic in his role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you were sacrificing that to keep Milroe and
sure.
What's his name? Pavio.
Pavia. And who else did we play that was dual threat? You had Brady Cook from Missouri.
Sure, there you go.
It had some dual threat ability.
Well, the point that L-Train's making with the man coverage and zero coverage, not having the safeties, and Auburn did get burned a few times by doing that. I guess the peace of mind you have as a defensive coordinator when you do this and you go man coverage a lot. So guess what Kevin Steele did a lot, right, when he was at Auburn, is it's a little bit harder to screw up man coverage. This is your man, okay?
Sure.
But what's difficult about it is winning in man coverage.
No, I agree.
It's harder to win in man coverage than do your assignment, and you have to wonder, like, early in the season, maybe these complex zone coverages that DJ Durkin liked to throw out there, he was scared to death to try it.
Sure.
Because of what happened to you in the Georgia game a year before with Brock Bowers, where Eugene Asante doesn't collision Brock Bowers and he's running free over the middle of the field. That's part of your assignment in zone coverage.
Yes.
So he was scared to death to do it. He was like, I know you can't screw up man coverage unless you just don't win.
Well, and especially when you're running some match principles in the back end, and it changes things a little bit too. But again, I want to reiterate, L-Train, you have a right to be irritated. I get it, man. I think there's more nuance to both sides of why they call plays in certain situations. Like if you were in the huddle or on the sideline or in the headset, you would probably have a better feel for why certain calls were made. But that doesn't change you being irritated at the fact that Auburn lost games that they absolutely had an opportunity to win if things had gone a little bit differently. So I think your argument is one that is completely validated, but there is some reasoning to it, I believe.
Sure.
Good stuff, L-Train. Appreciate you calling in, big dog.
5013. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
How about you fellows? It's Don. How are y'all?
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, Alan, buddy, I miss you. I'm having to work on Sunday nights now, and thank you for the shout out and everything about your question about Hooters or Twin Peaks. But
Don, anytime I can shout you out, brother.
Sunday nights, I'm actually at work right now, but I got a minute to talk. How's everybody doing today, guys?
Exhausted.
I bet you are. Thank you for all the coverage yesterday. And by the way, were y'all already there when they had that mess trying to get into College Game Day yesterday with all the students running and getting trampled?
I was not.
I was. No. I didn't see it happen, but I was on campus, I guess you could say.
It was like 7 o'clock, wasn't it?
Something around 7 or 8.
The one girl's fault for trying to jump the barrier. The girl that broke her leg, she got her leg stuck in the barriers while she broke her leg. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to say this. I hope she's okay, but that's her own fault. Everything, but
No, for the purposes of not getting sued, I know nothing about it.
Weekend. And how did it go with Cole and Jalen? How did it go with the kid that's committed to Alabama? I believe it's Zion Gibson. What do y'all talk
Cole talked to him, Don. I'll let Cole talk to you about Zion Gibson.
Yeah, the key question, Zion, does Auburn have a shot with you? Yes, sir. It was like we talked about. It's like we talked about on the show previewing Junior Day. The Alabama thing, man, is it as scary as it once was to have that Alabama commit by your name? I don't think it is to this Auburn staff. They don't seem to be intimidated by that whatsoever. And I think they've got a great shot with Zion Gibson. Not, I don't know if they're going to flip him right now.
The thing about it, guys, I don't understand DeBoer's strategy about just not. He doesn't seem like he wants to get Alabama people. We never won the state with Saban the last 15 years. Now all of a sudden we're just dominating the state. And out of the top 10 guys, we got 8 last year. It looks like we're going to get about 7 or 8 again this year.
Very well could. I mean, look, they made moves early with Vodney Cleveland.
Yeah.
With Zion Gibson, have him committed right now. I'm not saying Auburn's going to flip him anytime soon. That's not what I'm saying here. I think he's committed to Alabama, but Auburn's a big threat and will be all the way through with this recruitment. So, yeah, I mean, you make a good point. It is interesting, and they needed. I think DeBoer, we talked about this too. Probably needed a year to get the ties in state. That was going to be an issue at first. The question is, can he ever get past what Freeze is doing now? That's going to be a hurdle for him.
Sure.
Well, absolutely. And I'll never forget, and I know you guys will remember this, but right when Freeze got hired, it was when we had the state championship game, the Friday night that Mountain Brook and Saraland played, and I'm sure you guys remember this, Coach Freeze had about 200 Alabama high school coaches up in the box of the stadium. And everything, and he's just got a great relationship going with all the high school kids and everything, and everything. My last question, I know you got people still waiting. How did the visit go with the kid that's committed to Maryland, Zealy, the kid that's from St. Francis Academy, and also to the other kid that came down for St. Francis with the Henry kid?
Jaira Edwards, the number 3 safety.
Edwards and Zealy.
Yep.
Hey, all 3 of those cats, as well as I think Iheanacho, April the 5th, circle that date on your calendar. I think all of those guys are coming back April the 5th. I think Auburn's going to have a scrimmage maybe that weekend. But you talk to them, you see them, you interact with them all weekend, because St. Francis guys, they're all together. They're very outgoing. They don't miss an opportunity to come say hello. Yeah. So not only did we get that interview, but we got to see them interact with the coaches and players, and Blake Woodby and Bryce Diaz and Darion Smith and Wayne Dorsey, Rock Bellantoni, DJ Durkin, all these cats. They're all interacting with these guys. And I tell you, I got to talk to Jaira more than I did any of the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, Auburn's legit for him, and I guarantee you, it's the same for Zion.
Sure.
I mean, I really do think if hats are on the table, and they're only going to put 2 or 3 hats on the table, Auburn's going to be one of them.
I agree. I'll tell you what, they sure do love some Connecticut sausage.
Loved it.
They do. Bryce,
except for Wayne.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Wayne. Yeah.
I was going to say.
By the way, Cole, I saw that menu that you had and everything. Did a lot of recruits eat food with you? All that stuff that you brought, all that food. Man,
I thought that was you bringing stuff.
I didn't bring it. No, that was a joke, Don. It was.
Was that a joke? Okay. Well, you know me and everything. Sometimes I'm the joke of the board and everything. By the way, Alan, I don't know if you saw my corner spot on Monday when you said something and asking me about the Hooters and Twin Peaks and everything.
I did, Don.
They killed me, man. and Jay Lee, buddy, I don't look. How about, by the way, I owe you an apology, my friend. sorry that you guys had to ban me on Inauguration Day with me. I was being stupid talking politics. So
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, that's all right, man.
But I need to ask you a question about people getting banned, though. Okay. On some of my posts, when I talk about my little friend from Hooters and everything, there's 2 or 3 people that just get out of hand with it. Very, very crude comments. I mean, I don't know if you saw that post I'm talking about, but there was 2 of them that I'm not going to say it over there. That needs to be looked into about that being banned for that. Okay, because I mean they're mentioning private parts and sexual things and everything. And
no. In their defense, dude, you're bringing a scantily clad young lady's picture to a board full of heathens. What do you expect? Let me tell you something, big dog. They were saying exactly what I was thinking.
Is that Office? You remember the show, The Office?
Yes. Yes.
That one I laugh about. Okay, but you're right. I bring it on myself, Jay Lee. I do, but you're right.
Hey, if she didn't want those comments, she wouldn't wear that. I'm just kidding. She doesn't deserve that. No, but I'm not surprised by what I see.
But listen, real quick, guys. I'm old enough to be that little girl's grandfather and everything, and
sure.
She's just a good little waitress and a very nice little girl. And actually, she's from a town that you'll know about, Jay Lee. She's from Billingsley.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Billingsley.
And then she actually knows my buddy on Jocks that you talk to every now and then, Damien Mitchell from Mapleville. And I'm still waiting for you to come up on a Tuesday, Jay Lee. And
after hunting season.
You're invited to. And Alan, I know you can't come in from North Carolina, but we still owe. Y'all still owe us the celebration.
We do. We
have
a 10,000. Yeah.
We still need to get that done.
Don, I think I'm going to talk to the guys after the show about this, but I think maybe we can tie that into spring game weekend or something. I think we can. That might be an easy launch spot for everybody.
That would be perfect. Yes. Yes. And everything.
You going to come down, Don? You going to come down for A-Day?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Are you going to come down for A-Day?
I'll come down for A-Day. I will, guys. But I would love to get together with all you guys and everything. And I actually got an invite for y'all tonight. And now, when have they announced a date for spring, the A-Day game yet?
I think it's the 13th because I'm leaving right after that to go to Washington.
Yeah, like April 12th, probably.
Let me look. What's that Saturday? That's it. April 12th.
Yeah, there goes my idea. I was gonna get y'all to come up to Birmingham and come tailgate with us in the Birmingham Stallions home openers that Friday night. You know, I was going to invite y'all to come up to Birmingham and tailgate with us.
You know, I'm old enough to remember when Chan Gailey.
Oh yes,
was the coach.
Yes. Yeah.
You know that Doug.
I think he coached like the CFL team we had here, or it might have been the Birmingham Fire.
It was the Birmingham Fire.
Yeah, the World Football League, the
That's
WFL.
Right.
Yeah,
the Waffle League.
Yes.
Over
the old gray lady.
Speaking of the Stallions, that this league, the UFL, is the first spring football league to make it to the 4th year.
Cool.
Okay.
And everything, but I tell you what, it's good football, guys. Y'all would enjoy it. We got 5 home games. Maybe I can get all y'all to come up and we have a booster group called the Birmingham Horsemen, and we got 700 members, and we have a huge tailgate before every home game.
Okay.
And everything.
All right.
But anyway, guys, thank y'all as always. Great job yesterday. Loved all the coverage and everything. And it sounds like we're going to have another, hopefully, top 5 class. In my opinion.
On the brink. Don's currently ranked number 3. Appreciate your call, Don. Auburn currently still standing at number 3 in the country in the 2026 class, looking to add to that soon. All right, fellas, fantastic show.
Yeah.
As always,
Kevin from Wilmers.
Yeah.
Got Jack from Birmingham, L Train from Birmingham, Don from Birmingham. The 205 representing tonight.
Yeah, not just Ruben anymore.
That's right. I like it. Good stuff as always. Hey, we're going to end it there, folks. We're going to be back this week for a recruiting show Tuesday night. We're going to record Tuesday night. It'll be released Wednesday morning. Subscribe to Auburn Live on 3 YouTube page. Hit those notifications. You'll know exactly when the video is uploaded. All right. Don't forget, if you're in Auburn, Alabama, Also, Opelika, Alabama, Lee County, Alabama. You're looking for some real estate help, look no further for the help you need, folks. Give her a call, Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. I know it because she's my wife, and I know that phone number. I've memorized it. All right, that's going to do it, folks. I appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. For Cole Pinkston, for Alan Head, for Zach in the back, who stayed in the back, came to the front for a little bit, then went back to the back. I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay that left lane. See ya.